We all have moments in life when we feel small, when the world seems louder than our own voice, and when our dreams feel distant. In those moments, we begin to wonder, do I have what it takes to keep going? We live in a world where opinions and judgments are often louder than our own voice. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded with messages that tell us how we should look, how we should act, and what we should value. And sometimes we begin to believe that our worth is dependent on these external voices, the praise, the approval, or even the criticism. But the truth is, your worth is not something that can be measured by the opinions of others, nor can it be shaken by the challenges life throws your way. Self-worth is not something you can find outside yourself. It's something you cultivate within, and it's an unwavering belief in your. It's easy to tie our sense of worth to external achievements or the validation of others. We might think that once we hit a certain milestone, whether it's a promotion, a relationship, or societal approval, we'll finally feel like we matter. But that's an illusion. The real power lies in recognizing that your value is inherent, not contingent on the conditions of your life. One of the most powerful acts of self-love is realizing that your worth is not tied to perfection. We have all been taught in some way that we have to be flawless in order to be accepted or valued, but no one is perfect. No one is immune to setbacks, mistakes, or failures. In fact, those moments of imperfection often lead us to our greatest growth. And yet, despite these flaws, your worth is intact. Your mistakes do not define you. They are simply stepping stones on your journey. The beauty of life lies not in being perfect, but in being perfectly human. When we allow external opinions to define our worth, we give away our power. Someone else's view of you does not shape who you are. We often find ourselves in situations where we feel like we need to conform, to be someone we're not in order to fit in or gain approval. But when you're constantly trying to be what others expect, you lose sight of your true self. You become a shadow of what you were meant to be. Recognizing your own worth means choosing to live authentically, even when the world tells you otherwise. It means trusting that your uniqueness is not a flaw, but a gift. The journey to understanding your worth also involves letting go of the need for constant validation. In today's world, we're often taught to seek approval, whether from friends, family, or social media. But external validation can be fleeting and unreliable. People will always have different opinions about you, and their views can change in an instant. Your worth should not be up for negotiation. It should be unshakable, rooted in the core of who you are. When you stop seeking validation from others, you reclaim your power and take full ownership of your life. It's easy to let the voices around you drown out your own, but you are the only one who gets to decide your worth. No one can take that away from you unless you allow them to. So stop measuring your value by the standards of others. Don't wait for someone to tell you you're enough. You are enough. You have always been enough. The journey to self-worth begins with acknowledging that no one can define you but you. You are deserving of love, respect, and all the good things life has to offer simply because you exist. Your worth is not negotiable. It is intrinsic. And it's time to start believing that. Within each of us lies a power that we often underestimate, a strength so deep that it can help us rise above even the most insurmountable obstacles. It's easy to look at the challenges we face and feel overwhelmed, as if the world is too heavy to bear. We sometimes forget that this strength is not external. It is something that comes from within us, a force that pushes us forward even when we feel like giving up. Inner strength is not about being unshakable or impervious to life's difficulties. It is about the ability to keep moving even when the odds are against us. It's the quiet voice inside that whispers you are stronger than you think, especially in moments of doubt. It's about knowing that no matter how many times you fall, you have the ability to get up again and again. It's the resilience to bounce back when life knocks you down and the courage to keep pushing through adversity. This strength doesn't always announce itself in grand gestures. It can be found in the small, everyday moments when you choose to persevere, despite feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It's there when you choose to face a difficult situation head on, even when you don't feel ready. It's that moment when you decide to push through fear, to break through self-doubt, and to keep going even when your mind tells you to stop. The power to rise above is found in those choices. The moments when you refuse to let your circumstances define you. The beauty of inner strength is that it doesn't require perfection or control over every aspect of your life. It's not about being flawless, but about embracing your flaws and using them as fuel to keep going. Every scar, every setback, and every mistake contributes to the person you are becoming. They are not marks of weakness, but of resilience. Each challenge, faced with courage, adds another layer to your strength, shaping you into someone capable of overcoming whatever life throws your way. One of the greatest misconceptions about inner strength is that it means going through life without vulnerability or emotion. In truth, vulnerability is an essential part of strength. It takes courage to acknowledge when you're struggling, to seek help when you need it, and to admit that you're not invincible. Inner strength does not mean you don't feel fear or pain. It means you acknowledge those emotions, but do not let them control you. It means understanding that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a testament to your humanity. It takes great strength to be honest with yourself about what you're going through and still push forward. When we face obstacles, it's easy to feel as though we have no control over our circumstances. But the power we have within is the ability to control how we respond to those challenges. We may not be able to control every aspect of our lives, but we can control how we choose to face the difficulties that come our way. Our inner strength lies in our ability to take control of our narrative. Life may not always unfold the way we want, but we have the power to decide how we will rise from the ashes, how we will write the next chapter of our story. This strength is something that we all have, though it may sometimes feel buried beneath layers of fear and doubt, but it is always there, waiting to be awakened. When we tap into this power, we realize that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by the choices we make in the face of them. It is this inner strength that allows us to transform our lives, to take back control, and to rise above every obstacle that stands in our way. Setting boundaries is often seen as an act of self-respect and protection. In a world that constantly demands more from us, our time, our energy, our attention, it's easy to lose sight of our own needs. We may feel the pressure to please others, to be everything to everyone, and in doing so, we forget the importance of preserving our own well-being. But the truth is, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's the foundation for healthy relationships, both with ourselves and with others. Boundaries are not walls. They are not meant to isolate or distance us from the people we care about. Rather, they are lines that define where we end and others begin. They help us protect our emotional, mental, and physical space, ensuring that we are not depleted by the demands of the world around us. When we establish clear boundaries, we are sending a message to ourselves and others that our time, energy, and emotions are valuable and that we deserve respect. The challenge often lies in knowing when and how to set those boundaries. It's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes to everything, even when it comes at the cost of our own well-being. Whether it's taking on extra work, agreeing to do things we don't enjoy, or staying in relationships that drain us, we sometimes believe that saying no is a sign of weakness or selfishness. But the reality is that saying no is an act of self-preservation. It's acknowledging that we cannot pour from an empty cup. It's about recognizing that our needs matter just as much as the needs of others. Setting boundaries also means being honest with ourselves about what we need. It requires us to take a step back and evaluate our priorities, our values, and our limits. When we don't take the time to understand our own needs, we risk becoming overwhelmed or resentful. By clearly defining our boundaries, we gain clarity on what we are willing to accept and what we are not, which empowers us to make choices that align with our values. It allows us to make decisions from a place of strength rather than obligation. Respecting boundaries is just as important as setting them. Boundaries are not effective if we don't honor them, both in our interactions with others and in the way we treat ourselves. It's easy to fall into the habit of overcommitting or letting others push us beyond our limits. But when we don't respect our own boundaries, we send the message that they don't matter. And when we fail to respect the boundaries of others, we create an environment where mutual respect is compromised and relationships suffer. There's a common misconception that setting boundaries will lead to conflict or rejection. While it's true that not everyone will understand or appreciate our limits, setting boundaries actually creates more space for authentic, fulfilling relationships. When we are clear about what we need and we respect the needs of others, we invite deeper, more meaningful connections. Healthy boundaries create an environment where people can be honest, open, and supportive without fear of overstepping or being taken advantage of. Setting boundaries isn't always easy. It requires courage, honesty, and the willingness to prioritize ourselves, even when it feels uncomfortable. But the benefits are immense. When we set boundaries, we empower ourselves to take control of our lives and our relationships. We create a sense of safety, clarity, and balance that allows us to thrive. By respecting our own boundaries and the boundaries of others, we build a foundation of mutual respect that fosters healthier, more sustainable connections. Ultimately, boundaries are not just about saying no, they are about saying yes to ourselves. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience, and yet it's often the one that holds us back the most. It has the ability to paralyze us, to keep us in a state of inertia, even when we know we are capable of more. Fear tells us that we're not good enough, that we'll fail, or that we will be judged. It convinces us that playing it safe is the best option, even when that safety comes at the cost of our growth, our happiness, and our potential. But standing up for ourselves, whether it's asserting our needs, defending our beliefs, or stepping into new opportunities, requires us to confront fear head on. It demands that we find the courage to act, even in the face of uncertainty. Fear can be insidious. It often disguises itself as self-doubt, worry, or anxiety. It can appear as a small voice in your head that tells you, maybe this isn't the right time, or what if I fail? It convinces you that playing small is safer than taking a chance. And while fear might be a natural instinct, it often prevents us from reaching the heights we're truly capable of. It keeps us trapped in comfort zones where we feel secure but stagnant. The key to overcoming fear isn't eliminating it entirely, but learning to acknowledge it without letting it control us. Fear will always be a part of the human experience. It's a protective mechanism designed to keep us safe, but it is also the very thing that limits us from moving forward. The moment we allow fear to take the wheel, we lose our agency, our power to create the life we want. It's when we give in to fear that we begin to shrink ourselves, to accept less than we deserve, and to silence our voices when they need to be heard most. Standing up for ourselves requires courage, not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. Courage is the muscle we develop when we face fear directly and choose to move through it. It's the willingness to step into discomfort, to take risks, and to stand firm in the face of opposition. Courage is not about being fearless. It's about acknowledging your fear and deciding that you will not be ruled by it. It's about finding the strength to keep going even when you feel unsure. Overcoming fear means embracing vulnerability. It means allowing yourself to be seen and heard, even if there's a chance you could fail or be judged. It's in those vulnerable moments where real growth occurs. When we push past our fears and take a step into the unknown, we not only show ourselves what we're capable of, but also inspire others to do the same. Fear thrives in isolation, but when we share our struggles and stand together, we dilute its power. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of fear, especially when it feels like it's holding you back from your goals. But the reality is that every action you take, in spite of fear, is a victory. Fear is often a sign that you're on the verge of something meaningful. It shows you are stepping out of your comfort zone, breaking new ground, and challenging yourself to grow. The more you face fear, the less power it holds over you. You begin to realize that fear is just another obstacle to overcome, not a wall to stop you. Every time you stand up for yourself in the face of fear, you build your confidence, your resilience, and your inner strength. Fear may never fully go away, but with each courageous step you take, it becomes easier to move forward. And in doing so, you discover that the very things you feared were not as insurmountable as they seemed. Empowerment through action is one of the most transformative concepts we can embrace in our lives. It is the realization that while thoughts and intentions are important, true change only happens when we take active steps toward our goals. We often wait for the perfect moment or the right circumstances to act, believing that one day we'll feel ready. But the truth is, the only way to reclaim our power is by taking action, no matter how small it seems in the moment. Each small step you take builds momentum, creating a ripple effect that can lead to remarkable changes in your life. For many of us, taking action can feel intimidating. We may have big dreams or aspirations, but the road ahead can seem overwhelming. The challenges, the obstacles, and the uncertainty often make us hesitate, unsure of where to begin or how to move forward. However, the key to empowerment is not about taking giant leaps all at once. It's about breaking the journey into manageable steps and trusting that each action, no matter how minor, is moving you in the right direction. Small steps lead to big results over time. Every decision, no matter how insignificant it may feel in the moment, contributes to the bigger picture of your life. Whether it's sending an email, making a phone call, setting a small goal for the day, or simply taking a moment to care for yourself, each action matters. These small efforts add up and create momentum that propels you forward. It's like planting seeds for your future. Every time you act, you're nurturing your personal growth and expanding your sense of possibility. When we take action, we shift from a passive state to an active one. Instead of waiting for things to change, we create change. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we have no control over our circumstances. We might believe that life is something that happens to us rather than something we can shape. But empowerment comes from recognizing that we have the ability to influence our lives regardless of the circumstances. It starts with the simple act of deciding to take the first step, even when the path is unclear. Taking action also means confronting fear, uncertainty, and self-doubt. Often, we hold ourselves back because we fear failure or rejection. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough or that we're not ready. But the truth is, we don't have to be perfect to take action. In fact, it's through our actions that we gain clarity and confidence. When we face our fears and take that first step, we realize that the unknown is not as intimidating as we thought. Every action we take in the face of fear is a victory in itself. The beauty of empowerment through action is that it's within our control. We don't need permission from anyone else to take charge of our lives. We don't need to wait for the stars to align or for someone to tell us it's our time. The power is already within us. It's simply a matter of deciding to take action. When we act, we declare to ourselves and the world that we are worthy of our dreams and goals. We show up for ourselves even when it's uncomfortable or uncertain because we believe in our ability to create change. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you desire. Empowerment doesn't come from waiting for things to happen. It comes from stepping into your own power and making things happen. When you take consistent, purposeful action, you shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. You start to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and you develop the belief that anything is possible if you're willing to take the necessary steps. Empowerment is about taking ownership of your journey and trusting that every action, no matter how small, is leading you to a life of fulfillment and purpose. So let today be the day you choose to stand up for yourself. Let today be the day you stop waiting for permission and start living on your terms. You are worthy, you are strong, and most importantly, you are enough.